Have you ever looked around your own apartment, your own personal space, and thought, why do I still feel so alone? You've got a job, you can pay your bills, you're not living with your parent, you are doing everything adulthood told you to do. And yet, most nights, you feel lonely. Well, it's not the pressure. You are just living something nobody warned you about. Freedom can be really, really lonely at times. This is Amaka's story, but it might be yours too. Amaka was the kind of person who people described as sorted. She landed a good job just 3 months after NYSC, moved into a clean 1-bedroom apartment on the mainland, paid her own rent and furnished the house like she had always wanted. She was living alone but not suffering. On Instagram, her life looked solid. Nice apartment, stable job, a blooming career. People would say to her, "You are doing so well. Teach me your ways." And she would just smile. But what no one saw was this. Every day, she came home to silence. No one to talk to. No gist. No one to ask how was work today. Just her leftover rice, and her phone waiting for a boss that really came. She worked in HR at a consulting firm in Ikeja. She understood her tasks, submitted her reports, even trained the new interns. Her boss, Mr. Chidi, called her the quiet achiever. She smiled at the compliment, but deep down, it stung, because quiet achievers don't get remembered at lunch, or invited to sit, or asked how their weekend went. She wasn't lonely because she had no people. She was lonely because she had no presence. No one who noticed when she shrank. On a Friday afternoon, something changed. She was seated in the staff lounge eating jollof rice in silence when someone slid into the seat beside her. "Mind if I join you?" a voice asked. It was Kelechi, the new girl from accounting, confident, bold lipstick, stylish lady. She had a kind of "I'm figuring it out but I won't show it" energy. Amaka nodded quietly. They ate in silence for a bit. Then Kelechi said, "Do you ever feel like you are doing everything right but something is still off?" Amaka turned, then nodded slowly. That was the beginning. Not of friendship yet, but of being seen. That night, Amaka got home and followed her routine. Remove a wig, freshen up, warm rice, sit on the couch, then scroll through her socials, TikTok, Instagram, or WhatsApp. She watched people thriving, moving to the UK, getting engaged, releasing podcasts, soft life vlogs, romantic date nights, interior upgrades. Everyone looked like they were living out loud, and she was watching it from the sidelines. "Why does it feel like everyone else has a community except me?" she said quietly to herself, and slept off. She woke up around 8 a.m. on Saturday. It rained heavily that Saturday, the good kind of rain, steady, soft, and without thunder. Amaka didn't cook, she didn't do laundry, she didn't clean. She sat by the window and thought about home, her mother's constant prayers, her cousin Elena's loud singing in the bathroom, her neighbor's kids banging on the gate. She thought about how she used to rush out of the house for space. Now, space was all she had and it didn't feel like peace. She whispered out loud for no one to hear, "I miss noise." The next Saturday, she dressed up and left the house. No destination in mind, just a need to be near people. She found a small cafe called Bean and Soul. She had passed it before, but never entered. She sat near the window, ordered ginger tea, and took a deep breath. The barista, a tall woman with box braids and a calm presence, smiled at her. "You look like today is your first rest day in weeks," she said casually. Amaka laughed. "Exactly," she replied. For the first time in a while, the silence around her didn't feel empty. It felt chosen. That evening, she opened her contact list. So many numbers, so many ghosts of friendships. She stopped at Nina's name, her cousin. They hadn't spoken in weeks. She called. "Ah, Amaka, you finally remembered me," came the familiar dramatic voice. They talked and laughed. It was 55 minutes before she hung up. She lay on her couch afterwards and exhaled like she had been holding her breath for months. From that day on, Amaka started changing her patterns. She didn't transform overnight, but she changed in small and intentional ways. She replied Ngozi's voice note. She said yes to Kelechi's lunch invite, walked around a street without airports, greeted the fruit seller, complimented someone's nails. She started participating. One day at work, Kelechi smiled and said, "You talk more now, and I like it." Amaka replied, "I'm learning to show up. Thanks for sitting with me that day." Kelechi blinked. "You look like someone who needed to be sat beside." And I did too. She bought a little notebook. Each night, she wrote one good thing about a day. "Kelechi invited me out this weekend. Someone said I have a calming voice. I think I'm starting to feel like myself again." Some days, the lines were just short. Some days, she just wrote, "I'm trying." But it was enough. One night, she came home, dropped her keys, and didn't feel dread. She turned on the light, played Asa's Bibanke on a speaker, took off her shoes slowly. Her cousin was coming to stay next weekend. She had a brunch date with Kelechi on Sunday. Her phone paused. This was a message from Kelechi. "Are you still coming for our Sunday link-up? I'll bring banana bread." She laughed, picked up a now warm tea and looked around. Same apartment, same job, same same playlist. But now, her space felt different. Freedom had not disappeared, but now it is filled with care. Nobody tells you that freedom, the thing you prayed for, the thing that meant adulthood, can feel so lonely. But here's what Amaka now understands. You can have your own apartment, your own schedule, your own life, and still feel like something is missing. And that something is connection. So here's what she will tell you if you are figuring life out. Don't let your freedom turn into isolation. Go outside. Say yes to plans. Sometimes even if it's awkward. Make memories while you can, not just money. Make friends, even if it starts with a smile. Talk to strangers. Eat the suya. Attend that hangout. Send that message today, because this season will pass. And when it does, you'll be glad you lived it fully. You are not strange for feeling lonely sometimes. You are just human. And freedom doesn't have to be silent. So if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.